The Conjuring is the best movie out of the whole of the Conjuring universe. That is just a fact. Welcome back, everybody. So my next movie review for you is The Conjuring. But once again, before I get into this review, if you enjoy watching my reviews, if you could please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, that would be very much appreciated. So, The Conjuring was released on the 15th of July 2013. Its director was James Wan. It was made on a budget of 20 million US dollars and made a whopping 319.5 million US dollars in the box office. The cast in this movie consists of Vera Farmiga, something along those lines, Patrick Wilson, Ron Livingston, Lily Tyler, plus many Taylor, I should say, plus many others. So in this Conjuring movie, or this next installment in the timeline of the Conjuring universe, we follow the Perron family who move into a farmhouse, and it is not long before they start to experience paranormal activity in this house. Now, here we go, okay? Now, out of all the movies in the Conjuring universe, okay, I enjoy each Conjuring movie or each movie in this universe a lot, to be fair. I have different levels on how much I enjoy each movie, but this one is the one that stands out, okay? This is pretty much, it was the first movie to be made in the Conjuring universe, and it is absolutely brilliant, okay? I really get so much enjoyment from this movie. And if you want to know the reasons why, the review is coming up right about now. So, like I said, I get an extreme amount of enjoyment from this movie. This is by far the favorite movie out my favorite movie out the whole of the Conjuring universe. Okay, there are reasons for this, which I'm going to get into, but I get so much enjoyment. Okay, this movie delivers to me. Now, not all movies or horror movies are about blood, gore, and guts. Okay, as you all know, the Conjuring universe is mainly focused around ghosts and demons, okay? This is the whole premise throughout the whole of these movies, and it works. And this movie works more than any of them in this universe, okay? It was the first to be made, and I love this movie. Okay, I admit it does not have exactly the same scare factor as it did from the first time I watched it, but I still have a lot of fun while watching this movie because there are still some quite scary bits in this. One of the greatest draws of this movie is the way that this is shot and the way that most of these movies in this universe are actually shot through camera work. You're constantly looking for something, okay? You're looking for something in the corner. You're looking for something which could be above them. You're looking for an entity consistently throughout the whole of this movie, okay? And the greatest part of this is it does not take long for this movie to get actually momentum, okay? It's not long before things start to happen and you see the progressive kind of downgrade of this family throughout the whole of this movie. I absolutely love this, okay? For anybody that hasn't seen this, the first time you watch this, if you have not get done over by at least one of the jump scares in this movie, there is something seriously wrong with you, because I think they are very well delivered. They're not overdone in any way, shape, or form, and they just work. They work well. Like I said, it doesn't have exactly the same scare factor, but it still works. And this is the reason why I get this enjoyment and still get this enjoyment from this movie. The plotline is not particularly hard to follow. It is a little bit predictable in certain places. There is a little bit of a plot twist in there, which does work, but again, it is slightly predictable. Performances in this are actually quite convincing, okay? I really enjoy every single performance in this movie, especially when we've got Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as the Warrens in here. I absolutely love those two characters in this movie, and this is before we got a bit of a backstory or the other movies come along. And you get behind their characters. You also get behind the family which is involved in this movie. In other words, is it Lily Taylor's character in this? She's absolutely fantastic throughout the whole of this movie. Every single performance always adds to something in this movie, and it just really draws you in. And the thing is, I get sucked into this movie. This movie is an hour and 51 minutes long, and it felt like it was just an hour. This is how much this movie sucked me in. And you do get behind every single character, okay? You know there is a big evil in here, and I generally loved the storyline here with what they were trying to do. I really enjoyed it because the entity in here is very sinister. It's very evil. It doesn't stop, it torments, and it just works so well. I'm sorry, it just has a big draw to me, and I really loved what they did. The other parts of this is they do explain the process of possession in this as well. They put it into 3 steps. It's easy to follow. You know kind of how, why, and how a demon possesses somebody. And I love the fact that it's not very long and they don't go into depth with this, but it's enough for everybody to understand about how of what exactly is going on in this household. And I absolutely love this so much. With the way that this is shot, with the dark tones in this movie, I just think it's fantastic. And I'm gonna always sing this movie's praises because it works, and it works well. Okay, it's a very well done kind of horror movie, okay, and it is extremely well done, and there's nobody that can argue with me, because now I remember the first time I watched it and I was just like, oh my god, this is actually really good. I'm actually so on board with this. And you, like I said, there are so many great bits about this movie, and there's so many different aspects of this movie joined together. Just the way the camera work, the way it's shot, the coloring, the storytelling in this. Yes, even though it's a little bit predictable in certain places and you kind of know what's going to be happening at a certain point, but it just all gels together to make this just a very enjoyable watch. And this is the reason why I've got so much passion for this movie, okay, because I generally think they found a franchise which works and works well. And this movie is the benchmark. This is the flagship kind of movie for this whole universe. Yes, I admit some of the movies that come afterwards are not as good, but this movie in itself, I love to bits. It's the best out the whole of the Conjuring universe. It's as simple as that. There is an appearance of Annabelle in this, which just adds a bit more to this. And there is some quite suspenseful moments in here, okay? You know that this entity is after that family. You know it's after whatever it wants to go after. And it will not stop, and it will not give up in any way, shape, or form. There's a great scene in the third act in this movie, which is the showdown of this. I think it's absolutely amazing. I really do. It has a big scare factor to this. I remember the first time I watched it, I was just like, okay, I'm on board here, and I'm really enjoying what I'm watching, because there always that ever-growing doubt of whether these people are actually going to get through this, or is that demon going to get exactly what it wants. And this is what the whole point of me when I watch movies. If I can get to the end of a movie and feel entertained, it's always a good watch. And I'm extremely entertained by this movie. And again, I know I give a lot of 10 out of 10s for movies on my movie reviews, but I generally have a lot of love for this movie, and that is the reason why it's getting a 10 out of 10. I love it. I loved every single part of this movie. The way this was directed, the performances in this, the way this was shot, the jump scares from the first time I ever watched it. I generally really enjoyed it, and this is coming from a guy that doesn't really get done over by jump scares, but there is a couple in here which actually are quite effective, and you do go, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here, and it's working, and it worked well. It's as simple as that, and that is the reason why I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. So on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care, and goodbye.